Picture this. A warm breeze dances through a canopy of live oaks draped in Spanish moss. The highway stretches endlessly, flanked by pine forests and scattered wetlands. You're driving through northern Florida, a place that feels like the forgotten sibling of the Sunshine State. But why? Why does it seem so empty? Welcome to the quiet, sprawling wilderness of northern Florida, a region that isn't just a geographical location, but a mystery waiting to be unraveled. Join me on this journey as we uncover why northern Florida remains so sparsely populated and what that means for the people who call it home, or those just passing through. Let's start with the climate, shall we? Now, Florida as a whole has a reputation: sun, beaches, and a paradise-like atmosphere. But northern Florida, it's a bit different. Summers here are hot. Not just sip your mojito by the beach hot. This is the kind of heat that sticks to your skin and refuses to let go. Add in the humidity and you've got yourself a human sauna. Oh, and let's not forget the winters. They're mild compared to, say, Minnesota, but they're not exactly postcard-worthy either. No snow for snowbirds, no consistent warmth for those seeking tropical vibes. It's this weird in-between weather that doesn't quite scream retirement haven. And then there are the storms. Northern Florida lies in a hurricane-prone zone with storms barreling in from the Gulf or the Atlantic, bringing torrential rain and flooding. It's as if Mother Nature herself is asking, are you sure you want to live here? Now let's talk money. While South Florida boasts Miami's glitz and Orlando has its tourist-driven economy, northern Florida is, well, different. Agriculture dominates here, with crops like peanuts, cotton and timber keeping the local economy afloat. It's honest, hard work, but it doesn't exactly attract a rush of new residents. Industries like tech and entertainment that thrive in other parts of the state barely make a dent up here. Jobs are often limited, wages are modest, and opportunities for upward mobility. Let's just say they're as scarce as snow in Tallahassee. Plus, with lower population density comes less tax revenue. Less revenue means fewer resources for infrastructure and community development. It's a vicious cycle, keeping northern Florida firmly in the shadow of its southern counterparts. Okay, let's be honest, if you're looking for nightlife, shopping malls, or world-class attractions, northern Florida isn't the place to be. There are no Disney castles here, no glittering Miami beaches. Sure, there's natural beauty, rolling hills, rivers like the Suwannee, and the stunning Gulf coastline. But these aren't exactly crowd magnets for the Instagram generation. Even towns like Gainesville, known for the University of Florida, feel small and sleepy compared to the bustling hubs down south. Many areas lack the kind of amenities modern families and young professionals seek, like trendy cafes, entertainment options, or robust healthcare facilities. For better or worse, northern Florida's charm lies in its simplicity, a kind of take-it-or-leave-it attitude that doesn't bend to trends or tourist expectations. To understand the emptiness of northern Florida, we need to rewind the clock. Historically, this region was one of the last parts of Florida to be settled by Europeans. The swampy terrain and subtropical climate were a challenge for early settlers. They were more inclined to settle along Florida's coasts or in fertile areas to the north and south. Fast forward to the Civil War, and northern Florida became a battlefield rather than a beacon for growth. Post-war recovery was slow, and the scars of history lingered. By the time the 20th century rolled around, Florida's boom was focused on its beaches and sunny tourist hubs, leaving northern Florida in the dust, quite literally. Even today, the region has an old Florida feel, with small towns and historic sites, standing as reminders of a time when this land was untamed and overlooked. For some, the emptiness of northern Florida isn't a con, it's the whole point. Rural living here offers peace, quiet, and wide open spaces. There's a slower pace of life that feels refreshing, almost therapeutic for those seeking an escape from the chaos of city living. But with rural life comes challenges. Access to quality education, healthcare, and reliable transportation can be limited. Internet connectivity, don't even get me started. While the rest of the country debates 5G, parts of northern Florida are still celebrating 3G like it's a technological marvel. That said, if you value solitude, affordable land, and the kind of community where everyone knows your name, northern Florida might just be your slice of paradise. Now, here's the thing. Whether northern Florida feels empty or just right really depends on your perspective. To some, the lack of crowds is a blessing, a chance to reconnect with nature and embrace a simpler life. To others, it's isolating, a reminder of how far removed this region feels from the fast-paced energy of urban areas. For retirees, northern Florida offers affordability and tranquility. For young professionals or families, it might lack the vibrancy and opportunity they crave. And for travelers, it's a hidden gem, if they know where to look. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about something that never fails to bring people together. Food. Northern Florida has its own culinary identity, a fusion of southern comfort food and coastal flavors. Think shrimp and grits, smoked mullet, pecan pie, and sweet tea so sugary it could power a small city. It's not the haute cuisine of Miami or the theme park fare of Orlando. It's hearty, it's soulful, and it tells the story of a region rooted in tradition and simplicity. Whether you're sitting down at a roadside diner or a family-owned BBQ joint, the food here feels like a warm hug on a plate. So why is northern Florida so empty? It's a mix of history, geography, and modern realities. A combination that has shaped this region into something truly unique. But let's not stop here, because while northern Florida might feel empty at first glance, it holds more secrets than you might imagine. Speaking of secrets, have you ever wondered about the hidden side of Florida, the beaches and springs that even locals hesitate to share? In our next video, we're diving into Florida's hidden beaches, the kind of places that make you feel like you've stumbled into a postcard. From secluded coves to pristine springs, these spots will transform the way you experience the Sunshine State. So, if you're ready to discover the Florida that most tourists miss, click on the video on the screen. I'll also leave the link in the description below in case you missed it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. The Sunshine State still has plenty of mysteries to reveal, and you won't want to miss this next adventure. See you there.